Namaskar, Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita. Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jeevanam Kavibhiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadaadatam Bhuvi Grunantiye Bhurida Jana. Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita Pratham Bhag Shoptam Khondo, 7th section, and Pratham Purichet, the first chapter of the 7th section of first volume of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna in Bengali. Now, this 7th section is about the description of Sri M's visit on this particular day at Dakshineshwar temple, Dakshineshwar Mandire Bhakta Shunge. Sri Ramakrishna at the temple, Dakshineshwar temple, with the devotees. So this is what the 7th section is about. Pratham Purichet, the first section. ठाकुर श्री रामकृष्ण आज दक्षिणेश्वर मंदिरे भक्त संगे. Today, Sri Ramakrishna, Lord Sri Ramakrishna, Thakur Sri Ramakrishna, at the temple of Dakshineshwar with devotees. Shravan Krishna Pratipad 19 August 1883 Krishtabd. It is the first day, Pratipad, of Shravan, of the Krishna, of the dark fortnight of the month of Shravan as per the Bengali calendar. And as per the English calendar, Krishtabdo, it is 19 August, 19th August 1883, 1883. On this beautiful day, Sri Ramakrishna is at Dakshineshwar temple with the devotees. And Sri M's now narration, he is describing the happenings at Dakshineshwar on that particular day of 19th August 1883. Aaj Robibar. Today is Sunday. এই মাত্র ভোগারতির সময়ে সানাই বাজিতেছিল. It is the time of Bhog Arati, the offering, the Vesper service, the service that is conducted at the time of offering food to the goddess, to the Lord, to Ma Bhaputarini. And Shonai bajite chilo, and in extreme other end of the Nahabat at the other end, post the area of Chandani and that ghat. There is one more Nahabat. One Nahabat is near in front of Sri Ramakrishna's room where our Ma stays. That is one Nahabat north of Sri Ramakrishna's room. And there is another Nahabat. The Nahabat is basically the place from where the musical instruments are blown. So here, Nahabat is being in that Nahabat, Shahnai is being played. All that the big pipe kind of flute. That the beautiful music from that Shahnai is going on at the time of the food offering to the goddess. Thakur Ghor Bondo Hoilo. Temple is closed now. The doors of temple are closed because when food is offered to the Lord, the doors are closed because people should not see Lord eating. Lord, the goddess, whosoever is the deity in that temple, should quietly enjoy the food. So whenever food is offered to the deity, doors are closed. Thakur Ghor Bond Hoilo. Thakur Sri Ramakrishna Prasad Praptir Por Kinchit Vishram Koritechen. Sri Ramakrishna also had his prasad, and then he is taking some rest after having prasad from the temple. Vishramer Por, এখনো মধ্যাহ্নকাল, তিনি তাহার ঘরে ছোট পোষের উপর বসিয়া আছেন। Now, his post lunch, post prasad rest is over, and in his room, in that beautiful room that Sri Ramakrishna uh, is sitting, the western door is open to Mother Ganges. Look at the north is Ma's Nahabat. Towards the east, southeast is Ma Bhavatarani's temple. After that, the huge courtyard, and in that room of Sri Ramakrishna, he is sitting on that small cot. In Sri Ramakrishna's room, there are two cots. One is the small cot where he sits when he is talking to the devotees, and the big cot where he retires after the dinner is over. But hardly any sleep, because Thakur Sri Ramakrishna is 24 hours contemplating on his beloved mother. Now today, here, post prasad, having taken rest, now Sri Tini তাহার ঘরে ছোট তক্তপোষের উপর বসিয়া আছে. Now he is sitting on that small couch, a small cot, just waiting for devotees to come in and start the satsanga. এমন সময়ে মাস্টার আসিয়া প্রণাম করিলেন. And just when Sri Ramakrishna was sitting there on that small cot, Sri M enters the room and prostrates before Sri Ramakrishna. Now he knows. Now it is not he is saluting Sri Ramakrishna like this that earlier he used to do. Now whenever he comes to Dakshineshwar, whenever he meets Sri Ramakrishna, he falls flat on the ground, prostrate, Sashtanga Dandavat, প্রণাম করিলেন। ক্ষণ পরে তার সঙ্গে বেদান্ত সম্বন্ধে কথা হইতে লাগলো। And after some time, after having some preliminary, how are you, how is everything, now after some time, Sri Ramakrishna starts talking to Sri M about Vedanta. Now M, as we have seen in previous readings, M has got a tendency, he has got a liking for formless God, formless aspect of the God. And every now and then, Sri Ramakrishna keeps on telling him that you also believe in God with form. In our previous reading also, we have seen, he told Sri M towards the end of the 6th chapter we studied, Mastarer Proti, আর তোমায় বলছি রূপ ঈশ্বরীয় রূপ বিশ্বাস করো না. Again and again Sri Ramakrishna is bringing this point to the notice of Sri M, that don't believe the form of God. Maybe you have the liking, you have preference, you have inclination to think about Lord as a formless entity. Don't disbelieve God with form. And now, again Sri Ramakrishna, this time Sri Ramakrishna starts talking to him on Vedanta, the ultimate culmination of knowledge of all the Vedas at the end of their creation. Vedanta, knowledge that has been spread after the Vedas were complete. Now he starts talking about Vedanta. Vedanta Badi Diger Mot. What is the belief of Vedantists? Vedanta Badi. Vedantists, what they believe in, what they teach. Krishna Kishorer Kotha. And now he is going to talk about, tell the story about, going to talk about Krishna Kishore. Krishna Kishore was a great jnani. So this is what he is going to talk at the start of the 1st chapter of the 7th section of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Now the real dialogue starts. Sri Ramakrishna, Mastarer Prati. Now Master has come, Sri M has come, he has bowed down before Sri Ramakrishna, and he has taken his seat on the floor, on the ground, And Sri Ramakrishna has started talking to his beloved disciple about the belief of Vedantists. দেখো, অষ্টবক্র সংহিতায় আত্মজ্ঞানের কথা আছে, আত্মজ্ঞানের কথা. Now Sri Ramakrishna, just think about it. Illiterate Brahmin from that small village of Kamarpukur, illiterate from our perspective, from the secular perspective. He has not read any scriptures. He has not read any textbooks. He has not read any of those Puranas, but he has all the knowledge. And today he is going to tell Sri M about the teachings from Ashtavakra Samhita, what the Atmajnanis they talk about in the Ashtavakra Samhita. Ashtavakra Samhita is a very complicated, very complex, intricate treatise on the Vedanta. And Sri Ramakrishna is going to, he has actually started the talk that, listen, there is a story. Ashtavakra Samhitaye Atmajnaner Katha ache. In the Ashtavakra Samhita, there is a mention, there is a talk about Atmajnana, the self-knowledge. From where he got all this knowledge? The person who has not read a single book, who has not studied a single scripture. All the scriptures are on his tongue. Talk about Ashtavakra Samhita, you talk about Vedas, you talk about Bhagavad Gita, everything, knowledge is there on Sri Ramakrishna's tip of the tongue. Atmajnanira bole, Shoham, Ami Shei Paramatma. Now Sri Ramakrishna says, the Atmajnanis, knowers of the self, they repeat Soham, Soham, Saha, Aham. That is, Ami Shei Paramatma, I am that ultimate reality. I am that Paramatma. I am that highest self. I am He. Saha, Aham. I am He. Now Sri Ramakrishna says, Esho Vedantabadi Sanyashir Mot. সংসারের পক্ষে এ মত ঠিক নয়. Sri M is a householder believing in the formless aspect of the Lord. Sri Ramakrishna is slowly trying to bring this knowledge to Sri M's mind. That Ami Shei Paramatma, I am that selfless, I am that, the ultimate reality. This talk, saying this, Esho Vedantavadi Sanyashir Mot. All this is okay for the sannyasis of Vedantic school. Sangsharir Pokke e mot thik noy. This belief, saying I am He, it is not suited, it doesn't fit for householders to say. Because they have not renounced the world as such. They have not got into that mold of saying I am He. Now why this fact that this aspect of practicing Saha Aham, Soham is not suited to the household, for the householders? Sri Ramakrishna explains that also. সবই করা যাচ্ছে, অথচ আমি সেই নিষ্ক্রিয় পরমাত্মা একই রূপ হতে পারে. As householder, we are doing all the activities. The householders, they are doing all the activities. They are immersed in the activities of this world. And if that is the reality, if that is happening, how can they feel? How can they even, think about Ami Shei Nishkriyo Paramatma, er ki roop hote pare? when they are involved in so many activities, how can they think about themselves that I am inactive Paramatman? Brahman is not doing any work. Brahman is inactive. It is only the Prakriti. It is only the manifestation of Brahman in the form of Prakriti that is active. It is only the Kali aspect that is active. Shiva is corpse, lying flat on the ground, inactive. So when the Sri Ramakrishna says that for householders to say this I am he is not suited for householders. They feel they are performing all actions. They feel householders feel they are the doers. Householders can't get into that mode of thinking he is the doer, I am just an instrument. That stage comes much later on. Till the time, oh, I am earning, I am doing this, I am doing that, I am rearing my children, I am teaching, I am that I cannot leave the householders. Now, if that is the thing, then how can they say that I am that Paramatman beyond all actions? How can they say Ami She Nishkrijo Paramatma? They cannot say it. Vedantavadira bole Atma Nirlipto. Now, these people belonging to the school of Vedanta, the sannyasis who are Vedantists, they can say that Atman is unattached, that Atma Nirlipto. But can a householder say? Householder is attached to hundreds and thousands of things in his household. I am attached to even the smallest of the material thing in my house. How can I say that I am Nirlipto? I cannot say as a householder. I have attachment to all these possessions which I have so strenuously gathered and put it in my possession. I am the holder of this possession. That I cannot say I am Nirlipto. Only the Atma is Nirlipto. Which Vedantists can say, but not a householder. সুখ দুঃখ পাপ পুণ্য এসব আত্মার কোন উপকার করতে পারে না? The dualities, opposite pairs of dualities, the pleasure and pain, virtue and vice, none of these can harm the self. They cannot harm the Atman. But every now and then, I as a being, I am inflicted by joy and sorrow. I am inflicted by pain and pleasure. I am inflicted by the punya and papa, by the virtue and vice, by the virtue and sin. Every now and then, I am possessed by these. By pleasure and pain, by joy and sorrow, by happiness and unhappiness, by virtue and sin. I, as embodied being, I am so much inflicted by them. The moment something good happens, I start jumping around as if I am in the ninth heaven. I am on the seventh plane, ninth plane. I start jumping around. And a little bad happens, I am in doldrums. I start crying. I am frustrated. I am deluded. I am dejected. A little something which goes beyond my expectations, I am gone. That is how the householder is. How can I say I am Nirlipto? How can I say I am not attached? সুখ দুঃখ পাপ পুণ্য এসব আত্মার কোন উপকার করতে পারে না? They can never, create any infliction on the Atma. তবে দেহাভিমানী লোকেদের কষ্ট দিতে পারে. But those with the body consciousness, those who are believing I am this body, they never think I am the Atman residing. The real I is not this body. But They fail to understand that. Dehabhimani, those with the body consciousness, Dehabhimani lokoder koshto dite pare. They afflict all these pairs of opposites. The body conscious people are afflicted, they are inflicted by this joy and sorrow, by this pain and pleasure, by this virtue and sin, every moment of their life. ধোঁয়া দেওয়াল ময়লা করে আকাশের কিছু করতে পারে না. The smoke, when we light fire in the form of homa or something, that smoke comes out, it can soil the walls. It can soil the walls of the building where that homa is being burned. But these the fire, the smoke from this fire, it cannot dirty, it cannot soil the space as such. What can spoil the space? What can soil the space? There is nothing that can soil, that can dirty the space around it. It is only the walls will get dirty, not the space as such. Likewise, Dehabhimani, the one with body consciousness, will get affected by these pairs of opposites. Not Atman. Atman is beyond that. Atman has got nothing to do with joy and sorrow. Atman has got nothing to do with pain and pleasure. Atman has got nothing to do with virtue and sin. It is beyond. Ordinary souls, the ordinary people who are so much bound with this particular under the spell of this delusion, who are bound to the body, they every now and then, every moment, they are affected by these pairs of opposites. Krishna Kishore জ্ঞানীদের মত বলতো আমি খো অর্থাৎ আকাশপথ. Krishna Kishore, the great Jnani, Krishna Kishore, he could say that I am Kho is space. The space which cannot be dirtied by the smoke. The space which cannot be soiled by the smoke. Krishna Kishore could say that I am Kho, I am Akash, I am space. Arthat Kho, Arthat Akashpot. He could say it. He had that right to say. He had gained that right to say, I am like space. I cannot be dirtied. I cannot be soiled by any of these pairs of opposites. সে পরম ভক্ত, তার মুখে ও কথা বরম সাজে, কিন্তু সকলের মুখে নয়. And this is the great teaching. He was a great learned person. He was a great jnani, for that matter. He had got the ultimate enlightenment. He was an illumined person. He had gone beyond the pairs of opposites. He could claim, yes, I am Kha. He could claim that I am like this Akash, like this space. I cannot be soiled by the smoke. The smoke of these pairs of opposites. He could say it because he had reached level. Shokoler mukhe noe. This kind of saying is not, it doesn't suit for each and everyone. All other people, it is not proper to get into that attitude of saying I am Kha. Soham is not good for householders. That's what Sri Ramakrishna has taught in this reading that we have read, this passage that we have read today from the first chapter of the 7th section of Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita, first volume. So that was our reading of today, and teaching to Sri M and us that householders, it is extremely difficult to get into that attitude of Soham. First reach that level and then say that it is okay for Vedantists. It is okay for Krishna Kishore to say I am Kha. But that doesn't suit one and all sundry. So that was Sri Ramakrishna's teaching for the day. Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Maha. Jai Swamiji.